Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy, my channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis, updated commodities, work our way through the dollar yields, precious metals, and commodities ETFs that I follow. I'll interject my financial opinions as we go through it together. And if you need help with anything, check out finding-value.com, where I dive deeper into all these topic sectors, looking for investment opportunities and sharing them with everyone in the community. We have a special going on, special. It works with both the monthly and yearly membership, and you can see those discounts in the description link below if you're interested. All right, let's dive in. Start with the dollar, the DXY. It still looks strong to me. I don't see any change in this dynamics here. We got the low, and then it just keeps stepping higher here in that stair step pattern where you step up, and that still looks to be intact. Everything looks good for a stronger DXY at this moment. We are seeing weakness in yields. The 2-year slightly lower, and this still looks okay to try to work its way on out of this consolidation. Now, there is a possibility that we do get scared down and rip lower before going higher. We haven't broken out of this pattern yet. So that possibility still exists. I'm not saying it doesn't, but the way that this is trading looks like it wants to try to break higher at this exact moment. We've got the 10-year yield down a little bit today. That's already broken through a downtrend line, and that still looks good to work its way on up. And we've got a similar dynamic on the 10-year that I think, are going to try to break out to the upside versus the downside. Breaking out to the upside means that people don't want bonds. They're worried about inflation. They're worried about other things. If you see these dip down dramatically, especially the 2-year yield, that means that people are running to safety in bonds, and that could indicate that we get a slowdown in the market. And then the 30-year yield is down a little bit, but this is a bullish formation. It's up against resistance here, trying to break higher. As we've broken through that downtrend to the upside, hit resistance, come back, hit resistance, we could come back and then create higher lows as we try to break out here. And then we have to break the bigger breakout at the 5-ish% area. TLT bond prices are up a little bit today, but that still looks weak. It's a inverted bloody nose, which still looks like it wants to continue lower. We've got the 2 and the 10. The yield curve's inverting today. And I still think that this is going to go higher based off of what I've seen here, the breakout, the consolidation before. I mean, those are all bullish formations. And I don't see the weakness or the fear in the market running towards bonds and uninverting the curve. And what happens is the 2-year falls a lot faster than the 10-year, and that's what causes that. So if we were to put the U.S. 2-year and then overlay, let's say, the U.S. 10-year on top of it, what you'll see is you can see that these are both correlated. The 2-year moves a lot faster in both directions. So when we see these things move, the yield curve uninverts because the 2-year falls rapidly. The 10-year is more anchored. We've got TYX GNX ratio is up a little bit today, and we are consolidating sideways here at this moment. Now, looking at the DXY going up a little bit, we had this was up a teeny bit. We're not really getting any headwinds or tailwinds behind gold at this exact moment. We've been stagnant for these indicators. Gold is down $52 an ounce. We're back doing a retest to that support area that we broke out of earlier. So this is what it looks like. There's support. You can see the big wick at the bottom. We also touched it here too. Are we going to fall? Are we going to go higher? It's difficult to say. We might go down and pull back a little bit. This kind of looks like one of those pullbacks where you get a falling wedge, You get these double bottom, you come on up, then you get a kind of a small little shoulder head shoulder pattern. You break on down in a, usually this is a, you'll see three distinct moves lower, and that could be it. It's on a very short time frame. I really don't trade the short term, so I kind of just take the wait and see approach. But we're consolidating here. It's consolidating sideways at this time, and um, that's what we're doing. We're consolidating. Silver down 1.4%. That's also got a little bit of resistance up there at 53.50 or so. Still above support there, and we're falling back in a way that isn't very powerful. Usually in topping patterns, if this was a top, you'll see big wicks at the top, and then you'll see large forceful candlesticks continuing to get big selling pressure. And then you'll see small buying pressure coming in. We don't see that. So I still think this has a chance of going higher, not lower. Platinum, very similar to silver, not a ton of selling pressure. It's pretty well controlled. Could we get all the way back here? It's possible. In small selling pressure candlesticks, kind of a grind lower. This could be a flag pattern, inverted flag pattern that we kind of end up down here. Palladium down 1.4%. That's doing a retest of some sort. We'll see if that holds. And again, we don't have a ton of selling pressure. It's just kind of slowly leaking off sellers. There's no force behind it. It's not like, man, I need to get out of here and sell this asset. So usually when you see that, you'll see big selling pressure. I'll show you back here what that looks like. So you'll see big wicks at the top. That's a topping pattern sometimes. Big follow through with big selling pressure, and then the bounces are all upward facing. The bounce is upward facing. And you can see how the follow through, the big forceful selling pressure, and then the small buying pressure. So that's what a stair step lower looks like. Then when you get to the bottom, it'll change. Like this could be a change here. See all those big greens and then the slowing of that. That could be a change. But that could also lead to, because I don't know, I'm like zoomed in here. It could also lead to another upward facing pattern that breaks lower. So then you watch it, and that led to another upward facing pattern here that broke lower. See how they're all upward facing? They're all up. So that means you're still potentially in a bear market move. Then when you get to the bottom, you usually get a falling wedge where the buyers start to equal the sellers and you get a compression. And then what happens is you break to the upside in a forceful big green army. I call it the green army, big green candlesticks. Boom, 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 hits it, right? And then you get to see the small little selling pressure pull back. That is the change that I look for. And this here is an accumulation zone. That's when you want to buy. And now we've already bottomed, it's heading higher, and then we've got downward facing patterns. So the patterns changed, downward facing. So those are all bullish. Looking at it day to day can sometimes confuse you. You need to take a big picture view and look at it that way, in my opinion. XAU to gold ratio, we are slightly lower today. Gold and silver mining companies underperforming gold itself a little bit. But again, we're in this big bottoming phase. So think of this as your kind of squeeze. It looks like this. So you're squeezing and then you bottom. And this is your accumulation phase, guys, right in here. And the bigger patterns, these big long ones, they might take time to play out. So it takes time to play out. You just hold and do nothing. And then you just look at the downward facing candlesticks, the patterns that it creates, downward facing. So GDX, we can see that it's the big move up. That's your impulse move. And then we're just looking for a consolidation sideways. So this is all consolidating of some sort in a consolidation. I don't know how long these consolidations will necessarily last, but this looks good. And we're sitting on top of support. Maybe we do a retest down here at 62.50. GDXJ doing the same thing. See how small and tight this is? Yeah, we have a wick at the top, but we're not getting follow through. Like big selling pressure follows. Could it come? It could come. Not saying I know the future, but it's holding on right now, and SILJ's got it's the same pattern. So usually what happens when you see these is you'll get like a big base. This is your base right here. You get a big forceful punch out of it, and then you do a consolidation retest after. And it'll be like a flag pattern. So that looks good. Crude oil is down a little bit today, but again, we don't have a ton of selling pressure. We have this weird anomalistic day there, which kind of is a head scratcher because it's like, did somebody do something here? Usually you don't get that in these bull flags, but if someone wants oil lower or if they're going to release news like, I don't know, bombings or something, I don't know. But this still looks good. We got small selling pressure today. It's not a big candlestick. Everything's squeezing up quite nicely in oil. We've got TTF gas up 0.64%. That's still holding on at support. Sometimes they come down, dip down before a move higher. It still looks good. We've got natural gas in America down 5.19%, a little bit of selling pressure. And again, you get that forceful move out of resistance or the channel. This is your channel here. You get a forceful move out of it. You get a retest. And then this is going to be game time, in my opinion. So looks good. And we're heading higher. Today we're down 5.2% today. So maybe we come back and do a retest at 380 or something. Boy, XOP, yeah, you know me, down 1.92%. Still looks fine. Think of this as just a consolidation flag pattern that's developing. Got OIH down 2%. And it's not huge follow through selling pressure. We broke through this resistance here. There's a possibility that it could come back and do a retest, maybe even lower than what I put there. But somewhere in this general area down here is a possibility. Newcastle coal futures are up 0.62. We're underneath resistance. We'll see how strong that resistance is, if we can punch through it or not. My guess is that we will. It just will take time. Sprott Physical Uranium Trust up 0.28%. We're at support. We'll see if it holds. Not a ton of buying pressure here either, though. So we kind of came down and could be a bearish formation. Difficult to say. Short term, sometimes you can't really read the charts that well. You know, you've got support in here, you've got resistance. Sometimes it just chops along, but this is bullish on the longer term here. Uranium futures pricing down a little bit, still looks fine. Just chopping sideways in the channel. URA is down 2.3%. Looks like we're doing some sort of falling wedge deal going on here. Usually when they're really small like this pattern might be invalidated. So I wouldn't put too much emphasis on a pattern that looks like this. Usually they're more elongated. So like this one. See how that? So I might be charting like one like this, and it might consolidate longer sideways. So just FYI. We've got Uranium down 2.24%. We've been pulling back a little bit, consolidating. Still above a lot of support. We've got URNJ also down 2.74. And again, this is just going to go wherever the uranium markets take it. These are just the junior companies. And we might still have some time before the juniors really, really rip. But I like them, and yeah, I've got exposure. Nickel down 1.5%, still chopping sideways in this little small dead period here. So that's the dead period is when the range squeezes up on you. We've got copper down 1.5% today. It still looks good. We're not breaking lows or anything like that. We'll see what happens here. Could we do something like this? Yeah, maybe. Just consolidating. COPX down 2%, doing a retest. Man, this thing looks so good to run. But we've seen some selling pressure across some of these commodities. We're up against resistance too, so we're up there. We're trying to break, but we've been consolidating sideways. And this could last for a little bit. I'm not saying it can't. Lithium down a little bit today. Still looks good. We're in an uptrend. We move that. But yeah, we're moving. REMX up 2.66%. Looking good. Breaking out of this little falling wedge to the upside. Everything looks good. Move on higher. We've got iron ore down slightly. That's just a little bloody nose. Looks good to continue higher. Pretty solid move there going on. Aluminum down 1.74%. So that's breaking out of this little consolidation. We might come back to this support region, $2,700 or so. A lot of the times you break out of this heavy resistance, you come back and touch the top of that support, which was resistance. Baltic Dry Index looks like it's trying to break out. Looking good. Looking pretty solid here for Baltic Dry for a potential move higher. Emerging markets are down a little bit. We're up against resistance. Sometimes we can chop sideways here. I do think we'll break out eventually, but we're at resistance. It's just taking its time. Moo down 2%. A little bit stronger selling pressure there. Maybe this forms a different pattern. We'll see. I've got a shoulder, head, shoulder. Sometimes they can form a double bottom like that and get a real good entry point. That is still possible for Moo as we're getting a little bit more selling pressure in it. There's a pretty strong selling pressure candlestick. We'll see if there's follow through. And I know the overall markets are looking a little bit shaky. We'll go through that here. KRE down 3.76%. So that's that bear flag I was worried about. So we came down, we have resistance, we come up against resistance, and now we've got follow through to the downside. So this could get a little bit ugly here for KRE, getting some selling pressure. XHB is also selling off 2.77%. We are back to support. We'll see if that support holds. We could see further selling pressure. Very well could. We've got the Russell 2000 getting selling pressure down 2% roughly. And again, this is getting some selling pressure up here. This looks a little bit more toppy to me. You can see that the green candlesticks are shrinking in size and the reds are getting bigger. That started right on this candlestick here going forward. And that circle there. S&P 500 also getting some selling pressure today. We're still in that general support region. We'll see if we get follow through. But we are getting some big red candlesticks showing up. Doesn't mean that we're just going to blow to the downside. We'll have to see if there's follow through. NASDAQ down a little bit, but that looks okay. I don't like this big selling pressure candlestick there. The only thing that I find kind of weird with this whole area over here, I think they're doing something. I really do. I'm surprised that we just keep floating higher here. It's like we create this is a pretty big pattern there, a rising wedge that breaks lower, and then we create another rising wedge, break lower. It just keeps melting a little bit higher, higher, and higher. Dow Jones Transportation down a little bit. We're still above a lot of this support. So, yeah, it was sold off today, but you got good support through this region here. It's not really a line. It's where's my rectangle? So this is a support region all through there, and that's where we're at. We're in that region. XLI down a little bit. We're in that support region, support resistance region. We've got SMCI ripping lower. That looks pretty bad, actually. That looks like we are heading quite a bit lower. That looks pretty ugly. So I would draw it like this, and in here. And then there's another one. This is if you guys are familiar, this is a bull trap. So you come down, the bull trap, it's going to return to normal, then it gets sold off, another consolidation, breaking to the downside. So that's still in a bear cycle move. Nvidia down 1.83%. It's holding on, but yeah, we'll see. Bitcoin's down 2%. That's looking nasty. Nasty. Looking nasty. And if you put it on logarithmic, you got that big rising wedge and it's breaking to the downside. It looks not so good. Ethereum down 3.2% as well. That's looking ugly. That was my guess there with the candles moving up and then the potential move lower. So I had a pretty good guess on that. MicroStrategy down 2%. I don't. Yeah, that look at the worry on Michael Saylor's face there. So what we're looking for, we've got support through here. You can see that. We're looking for one of these things that do something like this with an upward facing pattern. That gives him his other shoulder. So that is Mr. Saylor there. Not looking too aggressive there. We'll leave that in there. We'll see if that occurs there. And the VIX is pulling on up. We're getting a spike in the VIX up 13% here, moving on higher. Not looking all that great as volatility is kicking up. So that's what I've got for today, guys. Give me a thumb up for the content. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the website if you'd like. Specials the coupon code. And that's all I've got for today. So we'll catch you next time, guys. See you.